Congratulations! You are at the right place at the right time to start your day with a lightning bolt of energy. If you're here, it's because morning talk shows and even most podcasts have you down in the dumps, depleted and yearning for more. I want more money. I want more time. I want more magic. I want to be told what to do. I want to find what works. I want to scale my business. I want to be provided with actionable inspiration. And if more is what you want, then get ready for the Unblinded Huddle, which is the #1 way to start your day with a dose of integrity-based human influence. With your hosts, Sean Callaghy, Fernando Valencia, Adam Gugino, Jared Yellen, and the entire Unblinded movement.
Good morning and happy Trajectory Tuesday. Check it in. Hope everything's outstanding and amazing. Things are obviously, especially for our friends here in New York and New Jersey, getting a bit more intense and scary for some, and even overwhelming and tragic for some. So we acknowledge that in empathy and prayer and love, clearly. And we also realize that this is not all there is in the world, and we all have the need and ability to provide, to lead our life on true purpose. So that is what I'm present to this morning, Fernando. What's up with you, brother?
What is happening, team? And hello to our unblended ecosystem. There's many things on my mind, but what is most present for me is some of the things that Adam Gugino has shared. So as we get him on here, we'll take a few seconds to get Adam to join us. I'd love for him to share. I'm also present to the fact that innovation is essential. Right now, more than ever, no innovation, stagnation equals not positive dynamics. So I'm present to the power of innovation, and I am present to what Adam has shared. So Adam, maybe you can go unmute. I'd love for you to share with our live ecosystem kind of some of the things that are on your mind and what you're thinking. So what's up, Adam?
Yeah. Adam dropped the mic yesterday. Welcome aboard, brother. Drop the mic. And here's what Adam was sharing yesterday. So what's happened, Ad?
Good morning, community and movement. Yes, I want to start just to pre-frame quickly on a mastery coaching call with a wonderful soul by the name of Nick Knudsen, who kind of got me to the place to discover and distill my thoughts to be able to come up with a quote, but really an idea that I feel can galvanize and be a rally cry for our movement. And he asked me a question, and the question was like, how do you make decisions, like taking action? Like, what is it that allows you to make the right decisions? And I always describe how I do it in a way of a narrative or a story. And I talk about looking forward 5 or 10 years and looking back on that moment that you're in right now and making your decision as if you were the hero in the story that you were reading. And I've always used that language, and it's always worked for me, because ultimately it's not the decision, it's not the outcome that decides whether or not it was a good decision. It's the choice itself, because you know you're making the right one based on what you want that hero to do in the story. And as I told him that, it just landed for me. And what landed was this quote: "This is the first time in the history of the world where the entire world is writing their heroic, unique identity at the exact same time."
Drop the mic. And Adam, what Adam's sharing is, if you think about it, there's never been a time where the entire planet has been aligned against one dynamic and one force all at the same time. And even if that, you could make the argument, or Spanish flu or something, the world didn't communicate the same way. Like, we have the ability to communicate in real, like, microsecond time, not only through news portals, but through channels like this, of humans communicating in rapid fire, like at amazing acceleration levels. So Adam's point is incredibly well taken. And for those that don't know Adam or new to the huddle, Adam took his company. Adam's part of Unblinded. He's a co-founder, my partner, love him. He took his last company from $3 to $700 million, $3 to $700 million in 3 years in sales by building a 0 to 500 person call center. So Adam, brother, that is a point well taken. We are all simultaneously, not just on this huddle, not just in your state, not in America, but in the globe. We are writing our history, our narrative together right now. So thanks, Adam.
My pleasure.
Yeah. So Fernando, we got some other awesome people up this morning. So what else we got? What's cooking?
Oof. Well, we got another great bout yesterday. Yesterday we had the man with the pretty shoes, and then we had the lady with the pretty accent, and it was a great battle. If you missed that role play, please watch it with Dan Geltrude and Courtney Epps. Today we're jumping in with Gil and Shannon. So Gil is an adventurous coach and a passionate serial entrepreneur and pretty much a networking guru. He has over 23 years of business experience in Israel, Canada, USA, England, Russia, Singapore, and he's co-founded over 20 projects and mentored over 1,000 startups. He's also an author in the Russian market with a book called The New Code of Networking. And he also is a gentleman that we got to meet at Date with Destiny. And he is a man that wears very stylish lapel pins. And I don't know if you know what they say about men with lapel pins, that means they also have matching socks. So this man is insanely intentional. And this is Gil, who's going to be jumping in today. And he's also the creator of an amazing program called Ethical Deal Making. And wouldn't we all want to be doing things like that? Something like ecosystem merging. Then we have Shannon O'Donnell, who is the founder of Restless Group, which is an ear-to-street consultancy with a vast collective of creatives on the crossroads of music, fashion, film, visual technology. She is focused on public relations, connections, and relationships. So we have our networking guru and we have our PR guru who are going to be duking it out. Today on the huddle, kind of having some fun, but definitely on the role play on who can build stronger relationships and the importance of those relationships. So that is who we have here today. Sean, and any thoughts before we get it started?
Yeah. So let's just drop in with this. Gil brings hundreds of people across the pond to programs in America, including programs with Tony Robbins, brings incredible speakers to Russia, like just rock star. And Shannon helped create hundreds of people in combination with Unblinded, getting to Tony Robbins' birthday party. So these are people that make things happen. They both work with rock stars. They both are rock stars. And Gil, are you with us here yet this morning?
Yes, I am.
What's up, brother? How are you?
Doing well, doing well. Loving to be coming to you all the way from the other side of the world in beautiful Bali.
Oh, dude, you're in Bali? Like, that's a place to be isolated. How's Bali? What's happening?
I got to tell you, it is the place to be isolated, whether it's by choice or not. I think it's the ultimate place in the world to come in for a retreat. And I'm really grateful that my wife and I made that decision to just stick around for a little while longer to see what happens in the world.
Oh, that's awesome, brother. And thanks. And, as I think we hit it briefly on the morning huddle and a couple quick points. And then we're going to rock it today in the real raw role play. But Gil, you've had a tremendous amount of success working with really high level people. And if you're going to give one insight into how you've created relationships with people, I'm not asking anything confidential about Tony Robbins directly, but people at the level of somebody like a Tony Robbins, what's been your approach to build relationships, to even get to a meeting where you could have a conversation about something with people in those types of organizations? Like, what would that, if you had 30 seconds to explain what that structure would be, what is it?
So, it started off as a mission, and then I only learned how to turn it into a structure so I could teach others how to do it. But it came from a position of service. Like, when I went to my first Tony Robbins event and I loved it, I was like, oh my God, others have to try this out. And I'm like, oh my God, Tony, you're an amazing guy who you changed my life. Like, I got to serve you, buddy. And I didn't take it that seriously in the beginning. In the beginning, we brought like 25 people, small group. But now we're bringing over 1,000 people at a time to his events. It became this passion to serve, to make a difference. And that passion came from this immigrant of a boy who's always been the introvert who really didn't know how to connect, and hosting people and serving people has been my way of finding connections with other people.
Oh, brother, that's absolutely phenomenal. And let me ask you this, Gil. So you want to serve people, you want to have this beautiful mission of sharing that comes through loud and clear. Like, why are you doing all this? Like, what's your ultimate dream vision? like your legacy that you want to be remembered for?
So, in the last few years, masterminding has become a way for me to structure how much I speak within a conversation. A lot of what I've been doing for many years is building communities, teaching people a lot about the science and the art behind networking, how I've gone from this introvert guy who came from Israel originally and then started moving countries with his family and really didn't know how to connect with people, to building these communities around the world that want to develop. And this legacy that I'd love to leave behind is a community that's ever flourishing, that serves each other, all with one purpose. Let's continuously develop. It's like the Kaizen approach, the Japanese methodology and philosophy of continuous improvement. And for me, masterminding, it has brought me to a position where it's the biggest gift that I can give people. It's the algorithms, the methodology, and how you can continuously bring more clarity, more solutions, and more opportunities into your life.
Wow, awesome, brother. And how did you, so you're an introvert, what unlocked you? 30 seconds, what was it that began to awaken you, unblind you, to the reality that connecting with people was so critically valuable? Like, what was the awakening in that space for you?
Well, it was my early 20s, and it was two simple pain points in my life exactly in the same moment. One does not lead the other. It's interesting, but I'll say the one that's kind of safer first. One, my parents got a divorce. My mom needed help financially, and the job that I had at the time could not necessarily help me help her. So I had to step out of my shell and find a way to be the entrepreneur that I've always wanted to be and go out in the markets and try to make money on the weekends. I had to talk to people. Oh my God, it was scary. And on the other side, and I hope this is okay to say, this is not for kids show.
You can say whatever you want.
Yeah, I was young. I was in my early 20s. I was new in London. I really wanted to have sex. And a guy who's an introvert, who's an immigrant, who doesn't speak English very well, who doesn't know how to approach women, would not get any. And that was a really good motivation.
So Gil dropping the mic, coming forward with just the most basic primal why of that's what I was looking for. And I had to figure out how to make money and meet people of the opposite sex. And so I had tremendous drivers. Gil, we're going to pause, going to go to Shannon and come back. Don't go anywhere, please. Let's go back. Shannon, what's up with you? How are you? Do we have Shannon, Fernando? Shannon, how are you doing?
Hey, good morning.
Okay. So, Shannon, you are a rock star that has takes a beautiful pride in being the non-PR PR person. Could you give us 30 seconds on what that is?
Well, controversial saying that out loud. I think that PR and ads, the ad world and the PR world are merging and they're forever changing. When I got into the game 10 years ago, we didn't have Instagram or TikTok or any of the mediums that allowed people to speak to the world themselves, and ultimately, I believe the shortest line between two people is a story. So PR is really about storytelling. And what I do for my clients is help them tell stories and get that story out of them. So traditionally, PR was, I had a Rolodex of a lot of cool people and editors that I could access that you couldn't. And now that isn't true. So really it's about helping people shape, form, and tell stories and pushing them out in a real organic way to my people. So I love PR. I just don't love traditional PR.
Got it. And Shannon, so just to contextualize people's listening, to sharpen it, just can you share, is it okay to share some of the people you work with or have worked with and some of the brands you have worked with or work with?
Yeah, I usually keep things stealth, but I told Jared I'll release it for the call. I've worked with a ton of people, from James Franco, who's a client of ours, to Red Bull, to Nike, to Adidas, name the alcohol brand. My background before starting my own agency was the creative director at Milk Studios, which is a studio here in New York City that bred Kanye West. We work very deeply with Kendrick Lamar now. Yeah, so really everyone at that crossroads between fashion, music, and art is where my head's at.
Yeah, and you've worked some of the biggest events, and like, what are some of the events that you've been a part of helping shape, promote, and make work?
Well, that's changed a bit this season, but yeah, we've done South by Southwest. Yeah, every year we do South by Southwest, Coachella, Cannes, Toronto International Film Festival, Tribeca Film Festival. So basically what we do is we work with brands to create cultural experiences at these events.
Yeah, that's awesome. So Shannon, for you, we had an interesting initial intersection, and I'm super curious. And again, we're keeping it super tight in service of people. But when we first met, and we were doing that little program at not first met, but first encountered my work, let's say, or the work of Unblinded at Salesforce that day. Coming in, what did you think it would be, and then what was it? Like, what were you unblinded to?
Well, I think I told you this. I was skeptical. I'm skeptical of most things.
That's okay, because
it was amazing.
Dan Geltrude, America's Accountant, yesterday, so when he first met me, he thought I was full of shit. So that's my first curse word I've ever said on the Unblinded Huddles, and I won't do it regularly. But yes, Dan said that I thought you were full of shit when I first met you. So it's totally okay. So you went from there to where did you get to? To
learning, genuinely learning and being fully engaged. And what was it, like 2 hours? And I could have gone 4 hours for sure.
No, well, thank you, yeah. Shannon. And for you, when you think about Unblinded and the unblinding of low DS influence and acceleration, what are you most excited about?
Well, I love giving people opportunity, right? And letting everyone know that they're unique and they have a unique, heroic identity, and helping them draw that out of them. And I think that's what your program does so successfully.
No, that's awesome. And so you were very successful at supporting a number of different things that we've been co-creating in. Got a ton of people very effectively to Tony Robbins' birthday, for example. And you're like, no problems. You want 100, 200, 500. What gives you the ability to, because people would love to have the ability to organize and galvanize human beings like you do. What would you say is the reason that you could snap your fingers and say, how many hundreds of people would you like? And just give me a little bit of time and I'll make it happen. Like, if you're going to give people an actionable item in that space, what would you tell them would be Shannon's great teaching for today and how you get to that space?
Well, for myself, I've always been a connector because I've been super curious, right? I like to ask powerful questions and I love learning. So my first advice to everyone is have an innate sense of curiosity. People love to be asked questions and, really contemplate their own existence. And as you teach, Sean, a lot of it's about listening, right? And making people feel listened to. I also think, though, for me, my career started with naivete. I didn't know that the rules were there often, so I didn't follow the protocol. I talked to the person everyone else was scared to. So I think that, having faith in yourself and stepping outside the box is really important. And, the worst question I get, for example, I'm looking at my email before the call, and people are always say things like, can I pick your brain, right? Or can I take you out for coffee? And for me, I'll tell you what not to do. And that's easy. When you have a real question for someone or something that's poignant, they're going to answer. It might not be tomorrow, but they'll answer. But, nobody wants to go out for coffee. Don't ask somebody that if you don't know them yet. Don't ask me to pick my brain. I charge a lot of money for that. But if you could provide value, that's amazing. James Altucher, who's a mentor of mine, he says, he says, be an idea machine. If you want to meet somebody, find 10 ways that you could maybe help them out. Put them in bullet points, send it to them. Get creative on how you want to meet people. Now, for our network, as far as Tony's birthday or Unblinded, we built a network over years throwing experiences in California and in New York City, right? We were throwing the biggest parties for 5,000 people in Venice Beach, that kind of thing. But we built it on real culture, right? For love of culture and not money. And, a very big believer that you cannot buy culture. And that's why brands come to us to be part of that cultural conversation. So as much as you could put yourself in that cultural conversation, that's going to help you build tribes, just like you're doing with Unblinded, right? Everyone has something they're passionate about. So why not build a community around that? And it could be digital.
Shannon,
physical.
Shannon, dropping the mic, wisdom all over the place. Thank you. And final for you before I bounce back to Gil. Are you ready to have some fun on a real raw role play today?
Of course. I'm always ready. I have no idea what's going to happen, but I'm ready.
Shannon, are you ready as well?
Same. Yeah.
All right. So everybody's like, my level 5 listening says a little bit uncertain, but I'll go with it, Sean. So that is in much gratitude, Shannon and Gil. And Gil, final, actionable steps. If you had one actionable step to tell people there in 30 seconds on this huddle to accelerate towards their dreams, their outcomes, their money, time, and magic, what would that actionable step be coming from Gil?
Number one, audit your network. Actually review who it is that you're spending time with, review who you're serving, review who's influencing you in the deepest level possible, because when auditing your network, you actually start to understand that you can actually upgrade your network, one, by helping them actually upgrade themselves, but two, by actually looking outside of your network for some new people to join. And by doing that, you actually tend to raise your own standards. You tend to upgrade yourself just by looking at having a new network around you, which is quite easy to do these days, especially online.
Awesome. So I'm hearing curiosity, can't buy culture, intentionality. Gil's using network, or we would say ecosystem. So it's intentionality, all in the formula around ecosystem creation, deep listening, true caring, and love for people. Cannot buy culture, right? The energies around you. Gil, Shannon, thank you so much. We're going to roll into it at 9 o'clock, I think, with you guys. Is that right, Jared? 9 a.m. coming up?
Yes.
Yeah.
7
Coming right up.
Real raw sales
All right.
play. The link is posted.
All right, I'm going to be like skull capped for this one because I've been up since 6 and I haven't even gotten ready yet. So this should be the most raw and real of all of them yet. So Gil, Shannon, thank you. We'll be back in a little bit. And for everybody, here's what's present. What's present at this moment is actually, let me drop in Fernando. What's present for you coming out of Gil and Shannon? Quick 30.
What's present for me is the power of networking and connecting. And I want to just give our ecosystem, some love. We got some great people. I just want to shout out David McKenna. We have Awana from Cali Law, Kelly Hanna, Patricia, and Vivian. And then this comment right here, Sean, I really wanted to make sure you heard it. Bobby, I'm sorry if I mispronounced your last name. Bobby Pelenian went from 0 meetings to 100 sales meetings in a week since joining the Unblinded Mastery Program. And we do have a few people that want to share in Nick and Garrett.
Whoa. That equals a couple minute spot on tomorrow, the next day's huddle. So let's organize that because I want to hear that story. That is drop the mic. Thank you for that beautiful share. So keep going, Fernando.
And that is it. We have 2 people, Nick and Garrett, that have raised their hands. I want to give it back to you. And if we have time in the 5 minutes, we can have them share for 30 seconds.
Yeah, no, let's go. We have time for a quick 30-second share. So flip a coin.
Awesome. Let's have Nick go first. So Nick, let's have you jump in. We have not heard your name here, and I want to make sure you get a chance to speak. So Nick, as we get you unmuted, just unmute. We will keep you to 30 seconds, brother, but please share where you're calling in from and what's present for you. Go.
Yeah, can everybody hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, hey, Nick.
All right. Hey guys. Nick Knudsen calling in from Minneapolis. I'm actually the grateful gentleman that got to connect with Adam yesterday. And I just wanted to just tell everyone that's listening how grateful that I am to be a part of this unblinded community ecosystem. I really feel like it is helping me build who I'm going to be so that I can look back 10 years from now and know that I made the right choice to be with you wonderful people, this wonderful ecosystem. So that's what's present for me. Thank you.
Nick, thank you, brother. That is awesome job. Love hearing children in the background from everyone and anyone. I know it's family time, it's connecting time as we isolate. That's all outstanding and beautiful things. And as we take this home, and I'll take it to Jared in 1 second. just be clear on this Trajectory Tuesday. The challenge is to make sure we tell people the truth. And as Fernando gave me a beautiful confront yesterday and hit me with a lightning bolt, my own lightning bolt, and said, he goes, dude, you don't rip it open and go to like Coach Slazak, Coach Woods, Coach Ennis level with people as much as you do like in front of the camera as you do behind the camera. And so my rip it open beginning of truly sharing that more lightning bolt Zeusness that is very much a part of my existence since my earliest childhood is this. If you're sitting here not taking action, you're effing out of your mind. There's been never a time in the history of our world that there's been more of an ability to do what Shannon and Gil are talking about, what we talk about all the time, to merge ecosystems to create massive acceleration. Everybody is more accessible than they've ever been, A, because of technology, and B, with the horrors of this corona thing, the positive, there's always opportunity within horror, right? The opportunity is people are more accessible. The world is stopping, people are going to sleep, and they shouldn't be. It is the time you can expand the value of your ecosystem, of what Gil said, your network, what Shannon's saying, your culture, your world, at a level never before seen, because everybody wants to talk and everybody is slowing down and everybody is distracted. Don't be. And add massive value, figure out ways to support and help people. They want to talk to you now. That's the takeaway for today. And if you're not doing it, you're objectively out of your mind. If you actually claim to have dreams of more money, less time, more magic, you're out of your mind. And this is the time. It is the time right now. Jared, what's up, brother?
This is up over here as I have my beautiful little daughter sitting on my lap for this unblinded huddle during this wonderful homeschooling experience. And I'm super excited. We have 2 minutes, everybody. So I'm going to post the link again. Register ASAP. You'll get the Zoom link. We'll probably kick off in about 5 minutes. But this real raw sales role play with Gil and Shannon is going to be awesome. These are two people that find ways of bringing hundreds to thousands of people to events. So if you want to learn how to galvanize energy, you're going to see them in action during this real raw sales role play. It starts in about 60 seconds. Register right now. The link is in Zoom. It's also on Facebook Live, and we'll see you over there. Back to you, Sean.
Yep. Listen, thanks. We're keeping it tight to half an hour. Look at the show. Fernando, 10 seconds. Anything before I sign us off?
10 seconds. Influence off is the opportunity for you to step into your mastery. This is not entertainment, even though it's entertaining. This is a science, a skill development. And here are 3 truths. Influence is the #1 superpower any man or woman can have. 2, we have a formula, the unblinded results formula. And 3, you can learn it too. That is what's present for me. Sean, take it home.
We are all blind and just learning to see. Go get on Trajectory Tuesday. Talk soon.
So now is the time you take action. What is the one thing you will do today that will help you make more money in less time and with more magic? All you need to do is take one action right now and then head over to our private Facebook community at www.unblindedmovement.com to share your big win for the day. If you share today's win and any questions you may have for us, along with a 5-star review, so we can reach more like-minded people like yourselves, your questions will be answered and maybe even your win will be live on the podcast. And if you have not already subscribed, please visit www.unblindedhuddle.com to be part of our live studio audience for each morning huddle so that we can help you see what you don't see about the fun, excitement, and magic of exponentially growing your sales.